WrestleMania is 58 days away. And the only reason we're talking about this early is because of the whole Rumble controversy that will probably shed the light this Monday on Raw. But I do want to say that we would be talking about this earlier this week if it wasn't for a travel ban and a snowstorm or some kind of blizzard or something that hit Connecticut. So Raw was canceled, and they actually did Raw, I think for the first time ever, if not the first time in a long time, in WWE headquarters. It was like live from headquarters. So I was expecting fucking like the fucking NXT ring or the fucking Tough Enough ring and just people be around there. How would that have been, first of all? If you just had for one night have people go into headquarters and just fuck shit up. Not like fuck up the headquarters, but like just have a live event at the fucking headquarters. I think they used to have rings there, so why not have a show there? I mean, it's probably not gonna hold all the people, but still, I mean, you know, that way there's not a travel band that can spend the night at the fucking headquarters, or fucking sleep over at the ring, or whatever the fuck, and then they can do whatever they want for SmackDown, or they can say, hey, you had tickets for Raw, which I think they did for SmackDown. I don't know. Hey, you had tickets for Raw. You can come to SmackDown if you want, or you can just use them in another show whenever we come back to Connecticut. That would have been the fair thing to do. But I want to say, throughout that night on Raw, they showed the streets, and there's people still walking and still driving, and I don't know if they're staff or like city officials or whatever, but I clearly saw an SUV and a Jeep drive away at the end of Raw. So I'm like, this is, and I know it's not fucking scripted. You know, I know it's not. They're not fucking scripting Mother Nature to say God fucking hated Roman Reigns to win the Rumble. I don't fucking know. I don't even know how long this storm's been going on. It might be gone by now because they did SmackDown. So at this point, they had people walking on the street, which you know they're coming home. They can't really walk. Technically, they're traveling because they're walking, so they're in breach of the ban. And then they have cars going around, so they're in breach of the ban. And then you have this SUV and fucking Jeep. No, you have this fucking bulldozer, which technically he's allowed to be out there because I don't know if he's doing the salt shit, like putting salt on the icy roads, but I don't think they were icy roads. They're just snow and shit everywhere. So just putting salt on whatever, and has a bulldozer on the thing on the front. So he's technically allowed to be there. But then you have this SUV. You have Dean Ambrose fucking. This is like if an autistic child wrote Raw. And I know people with autism and Asperger's, so I can say that shit. It's like if you had someone just stand there for camera. There's a travel ban. It's dangerous out there. People aren't allowed to travel. In fucking Connecticut, they're not going to go anywhere anyway. So what the fuck are they going to do? So you have Raw at the headquarters. That would have been the best thing to do was to have a fucking house show at the fucking headquarters. Why not? Give them a fucking tour. Show them the network for $9.99. Why not? And then, without going into that much of a rant here, I mean, you have Dean Ambrose, which, I'm expecting Dean Ambrose to walk around, because Dean Ambrose doesn't give a fuck. So that actually made sense. But, this is honestly, if an autistic child fucking booked Raw, this is what would happen. And I hate saying that, but it's true. Like, hey, there's a travel ban. Well, let's have these cars fucking go here, and then this fucking Jeep goes there, and there's a fucking plane that crashes down to the sky. It's like, this is exactly what happens if an autistic child books Raw. Now, I'm not saying it's entertaining, because it was, but it makes no sense. It's like if you had Russo on there, but Russo would probably make more sense than an autistic child. Can't say that 5 times fast, but still. But anyway, with that all said and done, we had Philadelphia shit on the Royal Rumble again. And no, it's not because Daniel Bryan wasn't in the match. It's because Daniel Bryan was eliminated. I think he was like number 10. And he was eliminated at number 15 when Rusev was there. There's all these controversies of fucking Curtis Axel not being eliminated, even though technically there's a rule, which people forget, and I forgot, that you have 2 minutes or however much time the Rumble has that year. Like sometimes it's been 90 seconds or 60 seconds or whatever, and you don't get in the ring, you forfeit your entry. It's that simple. But fucking Curtis Axel goes on a rant this whole week saying he should face Brock Lesnar. There's no way in hell that will happen. No way. Especially since you have someone that was pegged to win the Rumble since sometime last year in the fall. It's fucking winter time or whatever the fuck. I think it's SummerSlam they had this booked, possibly. But you have the eventual winner, Roman Reigns, being booed out of the building to the point where people are chanting, "We want Rusev." So you have, which I wouldn't mind Rusev winning the Rumble. I would not mind it at all, compared to what we have for Fastlane, which we'll get to a little later. But we have Philadelphia, which is a great city, by the way, a great crowd all around, and we had great surprises. We had Bully Ray, we had the Boogeyman, we had DDP, we had number 14. So I guess by the number 14 curse, DDP Yoga's stock is going to go down or something. I don't fucking know. Fucking breaks his back doing yoga. I don't fucking know. There's every number 14 have either been released, fired, killed, or something bad happened to him. So something happened to DDP, unfortunately. But this is what I don't get. You have the entire crowd booing everyone in the match that's not Daniel Bryan, or Dean Ambrose, or Dolph Ziggler, or someone they like. I mean, Jack Swagger got a mixed reaction a little bit, but still. Cesaro did a little bit too, but you have all this shit going now. And the worst part of it all, you have them have Rock make the save. And they are booing The Rock. First they cheer because they say it's The Rock and it's awesome. Which I thought, hell, they have The Rock, you know, continuous feud that happened on one Raw with Rusev. That would make sense. But Rusev was not in the ring at all when Rock was in the ring, so they completely just ended that storyline, apparently. It was like a one-off or something. And then you have Roman Reigns win the Rumble, the bell rings, so they think Roman's won, which happened a couple Rumbles, actually, recently. And some of them comes in and they're not eliminated. But you have Big Show and Kane, Joe, and do whatever they do, and then Rock comes out, makes a save, why not? I would have honestly wanted Rock to win the Rumble. It would have made better sense to have him face Brock and have the match that never happened again after SummerSlam in 2002. That would have made perfect sense here. But you have people booing The Rock. Roman Reigns is such a heel that The Rock cannot save him. I saw actually a picture, a cartoon of the Shield's Roman Reigns literally using The Rock as a shield from booing arrows, and it was the fucking greatest thing ever. But this all comes to the point where they had a thing on Raw, and Raw was canceled and whatever, so they did the interview segments every Wednesday they do, but they did it on Raw. So we have now Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. The match people have wanted, the match I knew was going to happen. And I could not care less about this match, because think about it this way. The only redeeming factor of this match is Brock Lesnar, a year after defeating the streak I knew that was going to be broken, the one that is the one that was behind the one in 21-1, is now the one, the champion, the undisputed champion, and he faces Roman Reigns. So this is the only thing that would, there's actually two things actually that would save this. One, you have the fucking Axel Reigns match and just fucking end it, because it's annoying. To the point, it's not where Axel deserves the match, he's fucking annoying now, it's stupid. So you have the match, and Roman moves on, or the upset happens, and Axel actually faces Lesnar, which I doubt would happen. I think this is actually what this whole announcement will be on Raw with Triple H, which he did an amazing promo last Thursday on SmackDown yesterday, and just fucking buried the Patriots and everything else that was going on. It was amazing, but you have the match, and then it happens. So, depending on what that happens, we still have a couple months before the match actually happens, but here's what I think will happen. I personally believe that Brock Lesnar will lose the match, that Roman Reigns, which I hate saying that, because you have someone beat the streak, and then this is what happens. You have, you know, why don't you have Brock go, look strong, and beat the man that's supposed to look strong, Roman Reigns, and make a streak of his own? It would make sense here. So the man that broke the streak should be strong at WrestleMania. It's just a no-brainer. Here's what I think WWE will do, and this is what they will do. They will, instead of having Undertaker pass the torch to someone, a young guy, like Roman Reigns, probably isn't that young anyway, probably in his 30s, why not? Groomed to be the next John Cena of the company. But what I don't understand is why you would do this. But I feel they will do this. They will have Brock Lesnar, the one that beat the one in 21-1, lose one. And Roman Reigns will be the man that beat the man that broke the streak and win the championship. The writing is on the wall. It is that simple. However, there were rumors going around that they'll have another triple threat match. They were going to put Daniel Bryan in there, but that's too repetitive, which I agree. I mean, they just did it, so why do it again? I mean, it's like having Bret Hart and Yokozuna again, which was with great matches, no doubt. But WrestleMania 9, they had the match, and then they had the double match with Luger and Yokozuna, and then Yokozuna and Bret Hart for the title. I mean, you don't want to do things back to back. Much like Super Bowl, where they're going to have a potential Seahawks beating the Patriots for 2 in a row against a team that fucking did a camera thing a few years ago, and then they had fucking irritable ball syndrome or whatever the fuck, fucking deflated balls. Apparently they like old deflated balls, which is their words, not mine. But it's the fact that these next few Sundays are going to suck. And you know they're going to suck. WrestleMania comes once a year, and hopefully it will be salvaged by the other matches on the card.